Back to our channel. Now we are going to discuss the arteries of back of thigh. Especially the main artery of back of thigh is our perforating artery. You can see the profunda femoris artery. This is the profunda femoris artery which is coming from the main femoral artery. So this is the main artery of your back of thigh, which is mainly giving four perforating arteries in turn. You can see it is the first perforating artery, this is the second perforating artery, this is the third, this is the fourth perforating artery. Okay, so they pass through adductor magnus muscle. You can see this is the adductor magnus. This blue color line indicates adductor magnus. So there's four perforating branches. If you observe, they are passing through this blue line, that is the adductor magnus muscle, and they wind round back of femur. So actually they are winding round back of femur and piercing the aponeurotic origins of different muscles which are attached to linea aspera. You can see actually the linea aspera will be here in the midline. So like many muscles which are nearer or which are attached to linea aspera are pierced by these four perforating branches of our profunda femoris artery. Okay, so they ultimately end in vastus lateralis. You can see this red line represents a vastus lateralis. So once let us try to understand this diagram. Here you can see in the front you have first the femoral artery, right? So this is the femoral artery, and here you have the profunda femoris artery, which is its branch. Okay, and you have here are different muscles. Like the first muscle is pectineus here, the second muscle is adductor brevis, the third one, the biggest line you see here, is our adductor magnus, and it is in adductor magnus you have whole leg structure which is called adductor tubercle, and above you also have the adductor hiatus, right? Next you have the red color one here, the short head of biceps femoris, and this red color one is vastus lateralis, and these are the four perforating arteries, these red lines. Okay, so now this is a popliteal artery. Actually the femoral artery only continue as a popliteal artery. If the femoral artery is passing below the inguinal ligament, that too it is passing by means of adductor hiatus. Adductor hiatus is a hole in adductor magnus. So the femoral artery, after passing through the adductor hiatus, it is called as popliteal artery. So now we'll say about the first perforating artery. The first perforating artery arises just above or on the upper border of adductor brevis. So you can see here this is the adductor brevis. So just above adductor brevis there is first perforating artery. Okay, and the second one is in front of adductor brevis. So you can see here this is adductor brevis. So in front of adductor brevis you have the second perforating artery. Okay, and next coming to the third one, the third perforating artery is below the adductor brevis. You can see here this is the adductor brevis. So just below the adductor brevis you have the third perforating artery, and the fourth one is in the termination of profunda femoris artery, right? So this is the fourth perforating artery. So it's like fourth is the termination of profunda femoris artery. So actually this profunda femoris artery last branch is fourth perforating artery, that is they want to say. So the muscles which are perforated by each artery are like you can see here in the case of first perforating artery, it is perforating two muscles. One is our adductor magnus and one is our vastus lateralis. Coming to second perforating artery, it is perforating our adductor brevis, our adductor magnus, and also it is perforating the vastus lateralis. And the third perforating artery is perforating adductor magnus and also our second head, short head of biceps femoris, and also vastus lateralis. Fourth perforating artery is perforating the adductor magnus and also the short head of biceps femoris. If you see why these arteries have got perforating name, because they are perforating the different muscles which are present around them, hence the name is perforating arteries. So they also give the cutaneous and also different anastomotic branches. So the second perforating artery, sometimes the first or third give of the nutrient artery to femur. So if you see the second perforating artery and also the third perforating artery may give sometimes the nutrient artery to the femur, even the first one. So what they are saying is the first perforating artery, second perforating artery, third perforating artery, these three perforating arteries have a chance to give the nutrient artery to the femur especially. So this is about the profunda femoris artery and its 4 perforating branches, and what are the relations and muscles which are around it, we have understood. Now let us move on to the anastomosis on back of thigh. So for that, let us flip the diagram. So you can see this is the anastomosis on back of thigh. Let us try to understand. So mainly at least 2 distinct chains of anastomosis can be made out in the back of thigh. One lies partly on the surface of adductor magnus above, okay, and partly in its substance. So other lies close to linea aspera of femur. So the longitudinal anastomosis chains are mainly formed by branches of internal iliac. So you can see this is one is internal iliac, one is external iliac. So they are formed by internal iliac, okay, and the femoral and popliteal arteries. So of course the femoral artery, you can see here the popliteal artery. You know that the external iliac artery only below the inguinal ligament, it is called femoral artery. The femoral artery passing through adductor magnus only, it is called as popliteal artery. So external iliac artery is continuous on this side like this, whereas internal iliac artery will give the superior gluteal artery and inferior gluteal artery, right? So what they mean to say is, so thus from above downwards the gluteal arteries anastomose with each other and with circumflex femoral arteries. You see the superior gluteal, inferior gluteal are anastomosing with the femoral arteries. So this is forming one anastomosis over here, that is called as cruciate anastomosis, and the circumflex femoral anastomose with the first perforating artery. Yeah, that is called cruciate anastomosis. Sorry, not the above one. The gluteal arteries along with the circumflex femoral arteries, they form trochanteric anastomosis, but the cruciate anastomosis is by first perforating artery also participate here, that is called as cruciate anastomosis. So the perforating arteries anastomose with one another, like for example first with second, second with third, third with fourth. So they also one another will anastomose with each other. Next, the fourth perforating artery will anastomose with the upper muscular branches of popliteal artery. So you can see popliteal artery will give one superior muscular branch. With that, the fourth perforating artery will anastomose. So once again, let us try to understand this diagram from the beginning. So first thing is, first come to this point, that is the common iliac artery. So first the common iliac artery will divide into external iliac artery and internal iliac artery, okay. So the external iliac artery is continuous below the inguinal ligament as the femoral artery. The femoral artery is going downward and it is passing through the adductor magnus. Of course, you know, first the femoral artery passed through femoral triangle, after that it passes into adductor canal, after that it opens into adductor hiatus or opening in adductor magnus, then it is called as popliteal artery in the posterior of knee, that is a popliteal fossa, right? So this is about the external iliac artery, and this external iliac artery, especially it has femoral and popliteal artery. So this femoral artery will grow the profunda femoris artery. So this profunda femoris artery will in turn give the 4 perforating branches, that is the first perforating, second perforating, third and fourth. And this femoral artery also gives the left circumflex femoral artery and also right circumflex femoral artery. So these are the branches of femoral artery. And the popliteal artery also gives one branch, that is a superior muscular branch of popliteal artery. Okay, so now we have understood the branches on external iliac artery side. Now let us move on to the branches of internal iliac artery side. So from the internal iliac artery side, you have 2 branches only, that is the superior gluteal artery and inferior gluteal artery. You should know one more thing, that the superior gluteal artery is in turn divided into superior and inferior branch, and inferior gluteal artery is also divided into superior and inferior branch. In the superior gluteal artery, both the superior and inferior branch participate in anastomosis, whereas in inferior gluteal artery, only superior branch will participate in anastomosis, that is the cruciate anastomosis. In the cruciate anastomosis, you have your first perforating artery, so they all anastomose, and also you have your circumflex artery, so they anastomose to form the cruciate anastomosis. So this is about our anastomosis on back of thigh. Next we'll start with our leg muscles and about the anterior compartment, posterior compartment, medial and lateral compartments of the leg.